Ready to count down the weirdest moments in Disney theme park history? I'm going to share my personal top 10 list of the most bizarre plot twists found in theme park attractions. Let's go. Number 10, Submarine Voyage. The sea serpent is actually really goofy looking. At the conclusion of Submarine Voyage, which was more or less a straightforward, realistic sort of attraction, yeah, you had the mermaids, but for the most part, it was fairly scientifically accurate and straightforward. And so then at the end of the attraction where you see a random frill, and all of a sudden the captain and the co-pilot start freaking out about something on the radar, as a kid, you're like, what's going down? What's gonna happen? And so when the big reveal is that it's a cartoony sea serpent that looks like something out of It's a Small World, it sort of throws you for a loop. And it's a memorable moment, including the classic line, I think we've been submerged too long. Number 9, great movie ride, the tour guide switcheroo. I put both of these together, but yeah, it was a pretty weird thing for all of a sudden a character in the middle of a dark ride to jump on your vehicle and take over. And then later, for that same character to turn into a skeleton, and it turns out that the temple guard was your original tour guide. What a twist! It just goes to show that anything can happen in the movies. Number 8, test track. Bill's assistant secretly wants to kill you. Yeah, who saw that coming? Bill's asking his assistant to bring up different tests for you to do, and you have anti-lock brake test, and heat test, and cool test, and all of a sudden he tells her to pick a random test, and she decides, yeah, I'm gonna seriously injure, at best, an entire group of tourists. Yeah, thanks, lady. What's up with you? I think what makes this plot twist stand out all the more is the casual way that she sort of sends you off to your death. Die. Number 7, Expedition Everest. The track is split. Now, I debated how much of a twist this is because we all know the Yeti is coming. He's foreshadowed all over the place in the queue. However, what you don't expect is for the ride track that you're riding on to be ripped up in front of you. And it's like, what's going to happen next? And there are a fair amount of people that literally sat there and they're like, I don't even know what this ride's going to do next. Is it going to drop? Is it going to move? What's going to happen? And so the fact that it goes backwards is an additional extra twist on top of it. Classic theme park moment. Number 6, the Haunted Mansion, the stretch room. This one's a little bit harder to describe because at this point, so many of us have experienced this attraction or seen video footage that it's not really a surprise. But if you put yourself back in the time when you didn't know about the Haunted Mansion, the fact that the first room you go in just changes size on you is a pretty big twist. It's not this sort of effect you would expect from a haunted house, and the fact that it traps you and it makes itself larger and immediately there's no windows and no doors. It's very imposing and it makes the mansion literally larger than life. This story moment is so strong that it's debatable where the queue ends and where the actual attraction begins. Do you think the stretch room is where the show begins, or do you think it's part of the queue? Let me know. Number 5, Star Tours. Your pilot doesn't know how to drive. This was more pronounced in the original version of the Star Tours attraction with Rex. I know you're probably worried about your first flight, and it's mine too. Yeah, what did we sign up for here? Some people credit this attraction with the first something goes terribly wrong sort of plot point. But really, other attractions had done that whole thing before. Like Universal, you could argue on the tram tour already did it. But this attraction did it iconically. We all remember because it was playing on the idea of Disney having the reputation of running very smoothly. In fact, the first thing you do is turn into a backstage area. You can't go there. And Tony Baxter said that was on purpose because you never get to go there. So why don't we make an attraction where you finally do get to go behind the scenes? Number 4, the Haunted Mansion, the Hitchhiking Ghosts. Yeah, I know I have Haunted Mansion twice on here. What can I say? It's a good story. And the Hitchhiking Ghosts is one of the best endings of any theme park attraction. The whole concept of the Haunted Mansion is we're trying to escape. And ultimately, yes, we are going to escape. Except that we are told that hitchhiking ghosts are going to haunt us until we return. Creepy, effective, horror. It does it all right. Perfect ending to a masterclass attraction. Alien encounters, Skippy gets zapped. What is going on sort of moment. Alien Encounter was Disney's first major horror attraction, and they wanted to warn guests that this was going to be truly scary, unnerving, not kid-friendly. In the middle of the Magic Kingdom adjacent off of Main Street. You see how this probably didn't work? Anyway, Skippy, a cute cartoon alien, gets zapped right in front of your eyes and toasted, and yeah, really, really unpleasant. Not fun and not expected. Number 2, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You go to hell. It's just totally out there. Nowhere in the movie does this come up. Nowhere in the book does this come up. Why they decide to literally kill you by having you slam into a train and end up in hell, I have no idea, but it makes it a very memorable ending. Plus, it's a great place to warm up on some of those cold California nights. Now, you might be surprised that that wasn't number 1, but you probably can't even guess number 1. Just take a moment before we get there, because number 1 is definitely, without a doubt, the weirdest, strangest plot twist I had ever encountered on a Disney attraction. You ready for it? Great moments with Mr. Lincoln, the road to Gettysburg. You get amputated. Yes, you read that right. There was a short-lived version of the Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln in the early 2000s where they used binaural headphones similar to those found in Sounds Dangerous. And similar to Sounds Dangerous, they littered the script with a bunch of gimmicks. You got a haircut, there was a bee in the White House, and you got blown up. And you didn't only get blown up in the middle of the Civil War, but when you came to consciousness at a hospital, you found out that your leg had to be amputated.
You're at St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Your leg was hit pretty bad. I'm sorry. The doctors, they did everything that they could. But I'm afraid that they weren't able to save it.
Welcome to Disney, everybody. I just don't know why Imagineering thought this was a good idea, and I'm guessing everybody else wondered the same thing, because this version of the attraction did not last very long. In fact, it's so short-lived, it's hard to find great recordings of it, including the classic line for those who experienced it, "You must live," from Abraham Lincoln. I'm not kidding, look it up. In fact, maybe I can find a clip and play it here.
My boy. You must live. You must live.
Anyway, such a story choice has to be in the record books. This is the weirdest, strangest, most out there plot twist that you're probably ever going to see, and I don't recommend Imagineering trying to top it anytime soon. As you can tell, I have a lot of energy talking about theme parks. I love talking about theme parks. If you haven't seen some of my other videos, check them out, and of course, like, subscribe, hit the bell, help the algo, comment below. Did I miss a plot twist in a Disney theme park attraction you love? Let me know, because I'm confident in my list, but I would love to hear a good challenge, so bring it on.